So, hello and welcome. Today we're going to play some Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress is a settlement builder, colony management type of game. If you're not familiar with these type of games, don't worry, I'll be explaining some things along the way. This will probably turn into a little series. The amount of episodes, we'll see how far we can get. But for now, let's get us started into our new world. It's called Tadar Teta, the Planet of Destiny. And our little embarkment location is called Beak Bodice Fortress. So let's get started. What we have over here is a relatively flat area. It's kind of what I was looking for fortress. It should also have an aquifer a little bit further down, that we're going to use as a source of water. For now, let's get settled first. Our dwarves will need a place to farm food so they can eat, and they'll need a place to eat and drink and a place to sleep. They also need to be able to have some workshops, but we'll get into this. But for now, let's have our dwarf mine down to like 0, like elevation 0. I think will be a good start. Let them dig down and we'll see wherever we find our aquifer. I'll be back in Egypt. Alright, so the first layer of our aquifer is at 31. We're going to have our dwarf dig down a little bit further just to see how deep the aquifer goes. And in the meantime, the other dwarves are going to smooth the walls where we actually have the aquifer by pressing V and then selecting the area just to make sure that the walls don't leak. So I'll be back again in a little moment. Alright, so it seems like layer 27 is the last layer of aquifer. So after layer 26 our dwarf just continued mining. That should mean there is no water in the walls anymore. So that would leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of aquifer. Could be plenty. You can see I've ordered our dwarves to actually smooth all of these layers. That will prevent water from leaking out of the walls. There we go. Our dwarves have mined or have smoothed out the walls for all of our aquifer layers, so they are safe for now. We can work with them later and actually make a nice little water collection area. We'll decorate it and see how we can make it nice. In the meantime, our miner dwarf is mining all the way down. Almost reached the desired elevation. Alright, so there he is. Mined all the way down to 0. We can go much further, as you can see. This will do after we've settled in our dwarves and gave them the basics that they need. Now we need to figure out where we're going to make the farm and where we are going to have them have their bedroom and their dining hall or tavern. I'm going to start out with a little farming area. Just below the top layer, and we're gonna have our stairs go down as if it's a 5 like a die, like the number 5 on a die. It's like 5 little stairs spaced out a little bit, so our dwarves have fewer choices where to actually go. They should help with FPS lag in the later stages of the game. That's a little bit of future proofing. And then for our farming area, I think we're going with a 6x6. 3, 4, 5, 6. And there you go. That's the kind of area I was thinking about. It should leave us with plenty of farming space. And then the center areas can be used for storage and for the first few workshops. Let's wait till our dwarf is done. And in the meantime, our other dwarves can actually cut down a few trees, so we have some wood to work with. This should be enough. A little bit more. And the other dwarves that are not cutting down trees, they can gather some food, so we are safe and supplied for the beginning days. Right, so let's get back to this when our dwarves actually done. Here we are, it's the last little tile. And that is our farming area. Now we're going to order our dwarves to actually make some farm plots. By pressing, I think, B on the keyboard, and then O for workshops, F for farming, and B for farm plot. Smart to keep the keep building after placement button turned on. And then we select our little farm plots, like that. Have a dwarves build it. I think once they're done actually gathering and lumbering. There you go, the dwarves are done plowing the fields. Now it's up to us to actually tell them what to plant over there. First top 2 spots we're just going for plump helmets in every season. Like that. And again over here. And then in the bottom 2 plots we're going to do plump helmets. Summer and autumn we're going to do pigtails. If you're wondering why we're going for so many plump helmets and pigtails, it's because plump helmets are used for food and for drinks, brewing drinks. And the pigtails are used... Oh, here, pigtails instead. Pigtails, yes, that's good. And pigtails are used for clothing and for, well, paper. I thought, I'm not entirely sure if it's also paper, but at least for clothing, and our dwarves need clothing, otherwise they'll get upset. That's all done and dusted. Now let's place down a little storage area for seeds, and one over here. Alright, so the top storage area is going to be just seeds, except for the plump helmet and for the pigtail. No pigtail. And no plump helmet. And if you're wondering why, because the pigtail and the plump helmet we're going to do on this side instead. Plump helmet and the pigtail over there. Now we have these nicely sorted out. And our dwarves can actually start planting. Go to our labor menu, we see we have a planter. We have one proficient planter, and I guess it would be a good idea to have one specialized in actually planting. So one person is going to do the planting. And then it's for us to decide on which layer we are going to start our bedrooms and our tavern layer. I was thinking layer 20, our elevation 20. So for the bedroom slash tavern layer, we're going to need, well, at first a little entrance. Then we're going to need a hallway that's gonna attach to, it's gonna attach to the bedrooms. Something like this, and then something like this. Alright, and probably also a little meeting area somewhere down here, roughly about this size. And then a tavern. It's gonna have an entrance with 2 doors like this. Then a little pathway down the middle, probably to drinking area, or the area where they can actually get their drinks. They're going to have drinks somewhere around there. And then we're going to do a little dancing floor, maybe on this side, and an actual drinking area somewhere on this side. Probably a bit on the large side, but I'm gonna pretty it up, so I'll be right back. This looks much better, I'd say. So I'll quickly run you through it. This down here is going to be the meeting area. The dwarves can ride from the entrance or the stairs. They can walk up to the meeting area. Maybe in the future I can connect this to some royal king chamber once we reach the point. These 2 hallways are going to be connected to rooms that we're going to build in a little while as well. And then down here is our main tavern just for our dwarves. This is a little seating area with space for 42 seats and tables. And then on the other side we're gonna make a little area with some wood and everything to make a little dancing area. And then up here we're gonna make storage for drinks, and we're gonna put down some chests where they can store their cups and mugs. And then later on, if it's bigger and all done, we can maybe make a kitchen upstairs. For now, let's have our dwarf dig out this little area. And if you're wondering why are these tiles blue instead of gray like the rest, that's because these are blueprint tiles. And turn them on because this is where I want the walking areas to be. It's mostly for myself to easily to see what I actually planned out, because these are going to be seating arrangements with a little bit of space in between. So let's have our dwarf start digging, and I'll be right back. While our dwarf is busy digging, I'm gonna quickly set down a marker. Press F1, we can take him back to our first location where we actually spawned our wagon. And if we scroll all the way down to elevation 20 and we go to the top right corner, there's this option where we can select, we're gonna set these coordinates to be bound to hotkey F2. So now if we press F2, we get back to this location. F1, we go back to the top. So that's an easy way to navigate through our fortress. And while our dwarf is digging, maybe up here we can get started with our brewery, since we already have little farm setup. So we're going to plant down a workshop. We're going to plant it down right here. Building material doesn't matter all too much. We're gonna relocate it later anyway. So for now, let's just pick whatever is close and have our dwarf continue. And up here, we're going to start with our carpenter. Also just whichever item is close. We also want a stone worker. So we can actually start making some doors and some chests and some beds. All the basic supplies our dwarves will need. Go back to check in upon our dwarf. Still mining. Making some decent progress. We're already up to expert miner. So it won't take long until he's a legendary miner. Once we get a few more settlers coming to our fortress, we can actually assign a few more to do mining. For now, I think it's okay if we make him to a legendary miner. Then we just have to make sure he doesn't die. We're back to square one. But let's have him continue mining. And down here, we can actually have a dwarf start producing some brews, which is also very necessary. And up here, some dwarves can start making some barrels so they can actually store their drinks. Alright, so we want to go to O for workshop. Oh no, wait, we have to do something else first. So we go to N. That's for the nobles and administrators. And what we need is a manager. Just make that our expedition leader. And we could use a bookkeeper. I can make that our planter. They will need an office at some point, but I think in the beginning we can get away with no office. And militia commander will do very quickly as well. Broker we don't yet need, and a chief medical dwarf we also don't need yet. We'll get back to this later. These jobs are necessary so our dwarves can actually do some bookkeeping, so we will know how much exactly we have of everything. And we need a manager. And we need a manager so we can actually set out work orders. We want to have a work order for wooden bin. Our dwarves can store their drinks in here. And if you select this little button here, you can set conditions. We want them to make a bin if there's less than 10 empty bins. This can cause everything. This can cause like a massive swell up of empty bins if we make too many drinks, but we'll see. This is good enough for now. We at least have 10 empty bins at all times. And then what else we need? We need our dwarves to actually produce some drinks. So we want a drink from plant. And also drink from fruit, why not? Drink from fruit. And we'll set the conditions if their amount of drinks is less than... Well, let's go for 200. That should be more than sufficient for now. Yeah, I think that's okay as long as they make drinks when there is 200, or maybe when there is 2 little seeds. The amount of seeds is less than, let's say, 200. And the same for the fruit. Do 200, 200 over here, so they'll make 200 each time. And then we'll set the conditions. There you go. That's the first amount of orders that we can set out. What else do we need? We need some beds for our little dwarves. We need a storage location to actually store our stuff. I think we're gonna start out with just a little generic storage place for anything and everything right down here. Or right down there, or maybe like so. Except, and this can just be everything except for corpses and a refuge. We do not want. And also no seeds, because seeds already have a location. So let's just keep this here for now. Move this down into our fortress later on, but I just want everything out of the cart. Let's unpause and let our dwarves do their work. Let's quickly check into our labor menu. We have one dwarf fishing, and I'm not so sure if we really need a fishing dwarf. Hello. Yeah, she's She, thing is right. Yeah, she's fishing. 85 years old. Alright, so I'll let you do your fishing. It is some extra food. Some dwarves can actually produce drinks, that's good. Beds we'll make once we need them. Same with doors and everything else. Barrels they'll keep up. For now, yeah, what we need is some bins. Before I forget, the dwarves can actually store some stuff a bin instead of having everything take up their own spot. So wooden bin. Oh, we didn't make a wooden bin. We need a wooden barrel last time. So we were already making wooden bins. We need a wooden barrel for the drinks. And actually we're gonna do the same conditions as we did for our wooden bins and the barrels. As long as there's less than 10, make 10. That should be sufficient. And we can always update this later. And let's have them prioritize those over everything else. The dwarves are nicely busy. Let's see how our minor dwarf is doing. We're making decent progress. Alright, so everything is a little bit settled up, so let's speed up time. Well, speed up time, let's just skip some editing magic once this is done. So a little change to our stockpile that I forgot about, or messed up a little bit. We also don't want stone in here, and we don't want wood in here, because otherwise that will take up most of the space. For refuge, instead of items, we just don't want anything. Not any refuge in this pile. And for now we just size this up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger. So they can actually store the rest of their stuff. So let's make it just about this, and then later on, once we actually dug out a storage area downstairs in the mine or in the fortress, it will relocate everything. But this will do for now. Taking our dwarf quite some time, so for now, the time being, I'm going to assign our metal crafter also start mining. Oh, there we go. Dwarves are done digging. In the meantime, while they were digging, I put out some orders to make the dwarves create 10 beds, 10 shield doors, 7 thrones and 7 tables for the tavern, the beds and the doors for the coming bedrooms. I think what we should do now, since our dwarves have gone without a bed for, well, nearly 2 months, is probably give them some bedrooms. The plan is to make design a little bedroom, 3x3 bedroom, I think, give them a little bit of space, and find a nice pattern. The bedrooms themselves are gonna be about yay big and have an entrance. And I think it would be nice if we can have these like 3x3 or 2x2. We can utilize the space as best as we can, because we're going to need about 200 bedrooms. Thinking maybe something like this, and then we can extend our hallway, and then we can make like a little path around it like so, 3 wide. Yeah, I think the main hallway should be 3 wide if we go in the length, and then the side branches maybe 2. The primary hallway is gonna be 5 wide. I think I kind of like that pattern, so I'll be right back. I'll try this out. But this is kind of the design I had in mind, just we can repeat each side and we can extend it every which way. With this we should be able to fill up about 200 bedrooms, I think. I'll start out with giving them a bed, and then I'll get a cabinet and a chest as well. Let's have our dwarf mine out this area, and then our dwarves can finally get their own bedrooms. Let's also zone in our items. There is a zone section or a zoning menu. Let's show this again, thank you very much. There is a zoning section. If you press Z on the keyboard, you get this menu, and you can select some areas. And I think this should be a meeting area, a little area for dwarves to meet. And up here we're gonna make a tavern, and a tavern can be made, well, any which way, but we're just gonna select a dining hall, and the entire area is gonna be our dining hall, except instead of a dining hall, I click on this little plus icon. We're going to turn it into an inn/tavern. The right choice. Do it right away. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna make this an inn and tavern. Looking glass. We can assign some actual tavern keeper and performers, but we'll do this later. But what we do want to do right now is make this area only for citizens and long-term residents, so that so that outsiders cannot just enter and start fights and steal and spy. That would be wise. Right, so this is our tavern area. We are making some thrones and some tables that we can place in a little bit. What we can already do, actually place down our storage area like this. Got the empty spaces. this. Okay. Maybe one more. Now we do a few chests and barrels right down there. It seems okay. Accept. Alright, and so let's have the dwarves put their drinks here. Drinks plant, all drinks animal. That's basically just meat and meat. And prepared meals would be good. All we need for now. We can always fill it up with more, but I think it's good if our dwarves have one area that they can actually take their foods and drinks from. And once we have a table down here and some chests for cups, that reminds me we should probably make a few chests. Let's just make some wooden chests. And it's a wooden chest. About 6 I think we need for here. How many? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, that's 3. It should be sufficient. We can always make more. Make 6 for now. The dwarves are nicely digging away. Alright, so there we go. The dwarves dug out 8 rooms. We have 10 population now, so I think... Oh yeah, we got a few migrants. And that's fantastic. Let's see what they do. Let's see, we got a dwarven child. Another child. Super duper useful. I think these children actually don't need their own rooms, so we have enough rooms for now. That's great. Finish the doors? No, they still need to finish the doors, but they did finish the beds. So let's get started placing the beds. Right, E, F, B. Placing, yeah. And then I think we're just gonna put it across the door. Yeah, any closest material is good. And let's fill up these rooms with some beds. There we go, and then I'm gonna place some doors. We do not have enough doors yet. We're going to place the ones we do have. Alright, so we have 4 doors. We're going to select bedrooms, multiple. And then we can select 4 bedrooms in one go. These rooms do not have doors yet, so I don't think we can do multiple there yet. No, not. So undo. I'm gonna paint each one separately. Alright, so those bedrooms are placed. Now we just have to wait for a few more doors. And then all of our dwarves have a little bedroom. So while we're waiting for the doors to be finished, I noticed we have quite little food. So I'm gonna give us our little dwarves in order to pick up some more food. But I actually have food for when winter starts. Should probably be okay, or I might as well just tell them to do everything. Or actually, I'm gonna set it on a lower priority. So they'll do other stuff first. At least that's what I think it will do. So while they're picking up all the food, still waiting for the doors. Put the doors up a little bit higher in the priority list. So, and I think our little dwarf over here is actually making the door. Are you? Oh, they're making a throne first. So how about you go to thrones? No, not the thrones, the doors. The doors first. Alright, thank you very much. Wait for this to be done. Good thing there is some tables already. And we might as well already place them in our little tavern, where the dwarves can start to have their drinks and their food. There's nothing in the storage yet, so probably all the drink storage is in the main storage, so let's remove it from here. None and none. No prepared meals. And this way they'll put everything drink-wise in the other storage. And now let's go place. Yeah, first we can actually smooth out these tiles, the seating areas, and then I can give the dwarves the remaining stones to cut them out. And this we can easily do by change blueprint to standard selection, and then all we have to do is just select these tiles and their normal tiles, so they can start digging them. And he's starting right away, so that's a good thing. And since we actually filled up our stockpile with all the stuff from our cart is now empty, so let's remove it. Also nicely smoothing out the tiles. This will also increase the value from our fortress and in general, which is good, and it'll attract more migrants. And it'll also make our own dwarves happier, which is also what we want. Now let's see, we have furniture, tables. Yeah, that's it. So we have all the chairs and all the thrones are done. We're just waiting for 2 more tables. We're waiting for a few more doors. Alright, so 8 out of 10 doors are made. That means we can actually round up our little bedrooms. There we go, there we go, and there we go. Oh, I think... Did we get a caravan? Ah, yes. There is a caravan, and we actually need to put down a trade depot, which is right there. Trade depot needs, well, at least a 3x3 white space access for the cart. So for now, we're just gonna put it outside, so there's a trade depot. And while we're at it, we're also going to need a broker if we actually want to be able to trade with people. And I suppose that's also going to be our expedition leader. The trader has arrived, and they want to talk to us about a trade deal, I think. I'm your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. All right. There's too much to... Yeah, that's okay. See, there you go. So this is... Once the trader comes by, will ask us for... Well, we want them to take with them. As in trade goods, whatever we like, they'll ask us like double the price. The things I often ask them to take is some musical instruments. There you go, instruments. I have no idea what they mean, so just bring whatever you have and I'll probably try to buy it next time. But that's okay. The first year trading is generally not that much trading happening. There's not much to trade. We could force our dwarves to start making mugs and other like things that can easily be traded. It's a good thing to make things out of stone, because like else they don't want anything made out of wood or anything made from animals. They're very, well, vegan or vegetarian, I suppose. They don't want anything living to die, which we're going to have to deal with, because otherwise they get angry. Angry elves are not profitable. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it so far. If you have any suggestions or feedback, let me know in the comments. And well, if you like it, a subscribe and a like would help very much, but there is no obligation. But for now, thank you for watching, and that's it. Bye!